This video covers the C major 2-octave scale. We learn scales in 3 distinct steps. The first thing we do is we get the notes and the finger numbers. All scales are in groups of 3 and 4 notes based off of how we use our fingers at the keyboard. So that first step is just playing those groups of 3 and 4 as clusters on the keyboard. So because our hands are mirror images, right? We don't play keyboard like this, but we have to play like this. Each scale has its own different set of groups of 3 and 4 in the left hand and the right hand. The notes are the same, between the hands, but the fingers that you use for each one are different. So now let's do just the right hand groups of 3 and 4. So we're gonna start in our middle C position. You notice that our first group starts right here on C. 1, 2, 3, C, D, and E. So we're just gonna press down these 3 keys at the same time. And now we're gonna find our group of 4. So if you look at the little graphic, that is F, G, A, and B. And you're gonna pick up your whole hand, you're gonna move that thumb to the F, and then you're gonna play all 4 notes at the same time. Try this back and forth a few times. So we're going to go group of 3, group of 4, group of 3, group of 4. Then, when you feel comfortable, we're going to make it 2 octaves. So we're going to go group of 3, group of 4. Now we're going to go up group of 3, and next group of 4. Now, at the top, we want to end the scale. So instead of playing another group of 3, we're going to use our pinky. Because we use our pinky only once in the scale, we don't really think of it in our groups of 3 and 4. It's just we want to end it, so we're just gonna play that little C up top. So let's try that exercise one more time. We're gonna start in that middle C position, group of 3, group of 4, next group of 3, next group of 4, and now the pinky. Now it's the same thing going down. Don't move, just play that group of 4. Now down to the group of 3, down to the group of 4, and down to the group of 3. Notice that in the exercise, I'm using the correct fingers. Like if you're doing this and you're using, you're like squeezing your pinky or something, it's not gonna cross over because you're not getting the fingering from the finger grouping. So take your time with this. This is always the first step with the scale. Go slow till you feel comfortable. All right, now to the left hand. So like I said previously, each hand, the notes are the same, but just the finger groups are different, right? Because our hands are mirror images. So because we use the pinky as the last note at the top of the scale in the right hand, we're going to use the pinky as the first note in the left hand. So our group actually doesn't start on that C because of the pinky. Our group of 4 goes D, E, F, and G. So press down those 4 notes. Leave that C up. This is helpful just for visualizing the fingering that you're going to be using. So we're just hold down that group of 4, and now we're going to move to our group of 3. So now that third finger moves to A, B, and then C. The whole shape moves up to A, and now let's move it back down. Up to A, and back down. When you feel ready, we're going to do just like we did with the right hand. We're going to expand it up an octave. So we're going to start with that group of 4, group of 3, the next group of 4, and then that next group of 3, and now we're going to go right back down. So watch your thumb move all the way to G, play those 4 notes. Watch your thumb move all the way down to C, play that group of 3. Watch your thumb move all the way down to G, play that group of 4, and now play your pinky on that C below middle C. Perfect. Now we got both groups for both hands. Alright, now we're ready for step number 2. So we're going to do the right hand on its own. We're going to take those groups of 3 and 4, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to play 1 note at a time instead of the clusters of 3 and 4 notes. So you'll notice that when I get to the E, my thumb tucks under, and now when I'm at the F, my hand opens up into my group of 4. Make sure that you use good thumb tucking technique on the way up and finger crossover technique on the way down. If you need like a refresher on this, I have previous videos about exactly this. So now it's time for the left hand. So remember, we don't play like this, we play like this. So we're gonna put that pinky on our left hand on the C below middle C. Now, instead of playing in chunks, just like with the right hand, we're gonna walk it out, right? So C, just walk each finger up to G. Now what's our next group? It's our group of 3, so we know which finger to cross over. Group of 3 goes to A, and then group of 4 goes to D, and then our group of 3 goes to A, and we're at the top of the scale. And it's the same thing back down. So if you're getting confused about where to tuck your thumb, make sure that you can visualize where those groups of 3 and 4 are on the keyboard, and it's going to just make it much easier and make that movement so much more fluid. Now for step number 3, hands together. Though I should say, like, some students aren't ready to put their hands together within the first learning of the scale. So if that happens to be the case, that's fine. Stick with hands separate. When you're ready to put them together, you can try and put them together. But if you are, this part's for you. So when our hands are playing together, they're moving at different times. And this is one of the things that's really hard to get used to in piano, just having like synchronized motion between your hands when they're doing different things, right? So what I find is helpful for students is to look at where the fingers line up. So if you look at my playing, you're gonna notice that my third fingers always play together on E's, they always play together on A's, and my thumbs meet together in the middle of the scale on C's. So if you're stuck in the scale and you're like, oh, where do I cross over? Wait, where do I cross under? If you remember those points of intersection, third finger's on E's and A's, and then your thumbs play together on C's, it'll make it a little bit easier to kind of smooth out those initial kinks in hands together. Usually it's a while before students can even use the metronome hands together, because I kind of got to think about where that finger tucks or where that other finger crosses. So really just take your time and make sure your fingering is accurate. If you can get good at it, then when you feel comfortable, throw in that metronome and you'll be ripping scales in no time. Alright, that's it. That is a wrap. C major, 2-octave scale. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what worked. Let me know what didn't. Like, one of the most important aspects of being a teacher is the symbiotic relationship that you have with your students. That communication is so important. So, communicate. Let me know what's good. Don't forget, stay powerful, y'all. Talk soon.